Long before ships sailed across oceans, long before maps were drawn, there was a land older than time itself. This land was called Australia, and it had been home to the first peoples for over 60,000 years. These were the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, the custodians of the land. For them, every mountain, every river, every tree, every star, was alive. Each element of nature told a story of creation, survival, and the deep connection between humans and the land. Pause for 5 seconds. Imagine standing on the red sands of the outback. The air is warm, the wind whispers through the spinifex grasses, and in the distance, a fire crackles softly. Around that fire sit elders, their faces etched with wisdom, telling stories to children. These are not just tales, they are lessons, passed down through thousands of years. The stories, known as Dreamtime stories, explain how the world was formed, how the rivers carved their paths, how the stars came to light, how the animals and humans learned to live together. Sound, low chant of traditional Aboriginal music. These stories are sung, danced, and painted onto rocks and cave walls. Imagine a wall glowing in ochre and charcoal, each handprint a connection to generations long past. Every symbol has meaning: a kangaroo, a snake, a river, a tree. They are the memory of the land itself. Pause for 5 seconds. Life was deeply connected to nature. People hunted, fished, and gathered, but never took more than they needed. Seasons guided them. When the rains came, the rivers swelled, and the bush provided food and medicine. When the dry season arrived, they moved carefully, respecting the land's limits. Sound, soft rustle of leaves, water trickling. Children learned early. They learned to track animals, to read the clouds, to listen to the birds. They learned that every action had meaning, and every being, human or animal, had a role. And yet, life was also filled with wonder. At night, the sky was a vast canvas. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens, and the stars told stories older than any words. Elders would point to constellations and explain the heroes, the journeys, and the spirits that lived in the sky. Pause for effect. Soft fire crackle. Imagine walking through a dense forest. Sunlight filters through eucalyptus leaves, and the air smells of earth and life. A kangaroo hops silently, a kookaburra laughs in the distance, and the land itself feels alive. Every step connects you to the past tens of thousands of years of life, survival, and tradition. Sound, gentle footsteps on dirt, distant bird calls. Art was everywhere. Rock shelters, engraved stones, and painted caves told the stories of ancestors. They were not merely decoration, they were a record of history, of journeys, of spiritual connections. Each painting, each carving, was a message: we were here. We lived. We respected the land. Pause for 3 seconds. Life was not always easy. Fires swept across the land, droughts tested the people, and animals were hunted to survive. Yet through it all, the first peoples thrived. They adapted, they remembered, and they passed down knowledge from generation to generation. Sound, distant animal calls, wind blowing softly. This is a land older than empires. Older than civilizations written in stone. And yet, it was alive, breathing, and waiting for the next chapter to be written. Slow fade of music, soft pause. As we sit by the fire with the elders, listening to the stories, we begin to understand something very important, that the land itself is a storyteller. Every rock, every river, every tree has a memory. And the people, the first peoples, are the keepers of that memory. Pause for 5 seconds. So remember, before cities, before ships, before conquest there was this land. Alive, ancient, sacred. And its stories are still whispering.